Good morning, and welcome to Caretaker's Corner, where we discuss everything that has to do with taking care of our elderly disabled parents, our disabled spouses, and our adult disabled children. My name is CJ, and I am your guide on this journey. And this is a second video on scams that many of them are for everybody, but a bunch of them specifically target the elderly and disabled. I will put some resources down in the comment section or in the pinned comment that you can go and look for to get more information on these scams, because this is a rabbit hole. I did not realize it was this bad, but as it turns out, it really is this bad. In my last few videos, I've gone over a few scams that I personally have been in some way involved in through family members. And friends, folks I know. But when I started researching more scams that happened to help give you all some more information on what to look for, there's a lot of them. You could devote a whole YouTube channel just to the different scams, and they change every year. They come up with new ones every year. So this is something that we just have to be very diligent about. My next video will be about how to talk with your family concerning scams, because talking with specifically elderly family members about their finances can be very difficult. I know, like my dad, for the most part, he was very open about his finances, and I was on his checking account, and he had, I never even touched the account until after he passed away. But like my mom and my stepdad, they're very, very closed about their finances. So it's very difficult sometimes to open up with our elderly parents, specifically about scams and finances. So that will be my next video, and I wish anybody luck that has to go through this conversation. But I discovered a lot of different sites that had information about different scams, and some of these I didn't even think about, because I was like, okay, well, I know this, and like my dad knew this information, so I did not realize this was an issue up until recently. So the first one that I found mentioned across several different sites was government impersonators. So it's people posing as IRS agents or Social Security insurance agents. And of course, if you're elderly and living off of Social Security, the IRS or SSI, those are the two things that probably would scare the heck out of you. So they're calling people or showing up at your door. They look very official. The phone calls sound very official. And they threaten to take away your benefits or to arrest you for tax fraud or tax evasion, or they are threatening to take garnish your, or put levies on your checking accounts and garnish your wages. And here's the interesting thing about the aforementioned: they're never going to just show up at your door unless you have a business, and they're never going to call you. And if you call them, short of like the last 4 digits of your Social Security number, they shouldn't be asking for any really vital information. Like I said, they may need your Social Security number, but that would be it. All right. So if they're asking for payment now, if they call you and then say, hey, we need your banking account information now or you're going to jail, all right, it's a scam. First thing, the IRS and Social Security are going to send you letters. All right. And then when you get those letters, you go to your local agency and you contact them. All right. You do not just hand over your information to anybody, especially if they call you. Another one that's on that same lines is Medicare scams. And they call and tell you that your benefits are being canceled and that you need new cards, and then they start trying to get your personal information. like your social security number, your address, your date of birth, all stuff that the Medicare office will know. So they do have to ask you when you call them, not them calling you. When you call them, they do have to ask you for something to prove that you are who you say you are. So they usually ask you for like the last 4 digits of your social security number, your address, which your address is on public record. So it's not like that's anything weird. In most cases, they're really looking for how fast can you say stuff like that, because if you can say, if you can say those like, real fast, it means you probably are who you say you are. A scammer probably will have to, they have so many numbers and everything going in their head, they would have to double check everything on paper. But once again, if somebody calls you, do not give out your information. You should have a booklet. If you're on Medicare and Social Security, they send out a booklet once a year for you to go through. So you should have a booklet that has all that contact information on there. If somebody calls you and asks you for that information, say, I will get back with you. Hang up and then grab that book and call the number on the book. Verify that way. That way you know you're using the correct number to the correct agency. And that way you can you're getting the right person. This also accounts for emails. They're not going to email you unless you've previously set something up. They're not going to text you. All right? So these are all very important things to keep in mind. If it is a government agency that's contacting you, they will first and foremost, the only way I know that they contact you is via mail. All right? And then you contact them. That is one of the security measures that they have set up. So that's very important, especially because with the elderly, a lot of them are to get your information so they can get all that money, because they know based on, it's common knowledge approximately when people's money hits their accounts based on their social security numbers and everything. So they know when they can hit your accounts for that money as it gets in there before anything can be taken out of it. So unfortunately, it's a big deal. We're talking billions of dollars every year are taken from the elderly via these scams. Okay, so one of the next ones is a tech support scam, which, like I said, this goes back to one of those I just never thought about, because I grew up with computers, and the first thing they ever told us was, if somebody sends you a message or if this pop-up comes up on your screen saying that you have a virus, click out of it. It's a scam. And so it didn't dawn on me that this could still be around, but apparently it really is. And it is people claiming, they usually sound like they come from the place that you purchased your computer from. And they claim that your computer has a virus and they demand money to fix it. There's also, and the other thing about that is they're usually asking for remote access to your computer to fix it. So that way, once they're in, they get your passwords, they get your information for your checking account, they get all the private information you might have on your computer. So here's what I suggest. In the event that somebody calls and says that you have a virus on your computer, or that anything that has to do with your computer that you are not aware of and did not have planned, like it's annual tech support time, we got to check out your computer, anything on that lines. I take all my stuff to Best Buy, the Geek Squad. They do really good work, not supported, by the way, but do something like that if you're worried about it. Take it to a legitimate agency. I think there's a new thing, company, at least in my area, I've seen pop up called You Break It, We Fix It, or something like that. And it's a technology company that fixes different forms of technology. So take it to some place like that if you're really worried about it. Do not let anybody that texts you, email you, or calls you have access to your computer, because on most people's computer, I know on mine, probably shouldn't be saying this, but most people's computer anyway has a lot of private information on it and a lot of financial information. So there are very few people on this planet that have access to my computer. Another thing that will help with this is, once again, not sponsored, but getting a VPN. And this helps hide your computer from, it allows you to be on the internet, but it lets your computer stay hidden from other computers while you're on the internet. So people can't just take your money, they can't get access to your computer. It's an extra measure of safety. Another thing is doing, and it's a pain in the butt. I am not going to lie. It is the biggest pain in the I can come up with, but point authentication, I'll get it out in a second, where like you go to sign on to something and it's like, okay, we have to send a message to your cell phone so you can type in this code so we can verify it's you. It's a very good idea. All right. Like I said, it is a pain in the butt, but it will help save so much trouble. I know for a lot of my financial stuff, I have that. If it's not my home computer, it automatically does that. I've got one computer and one phone that I can access everything from, and then any other of my other devices, I have to have the authentication. So that's an important one. And judging from the time I have going on this, I'm probably going to have to do another video on the different scams because I'm not even partially through this list. I told you there's a lot of them. Okay, so the other one that I did go over because of my dad is the romance scams. And they take people for a lot of money. And inevitably, the way you know that this is not legitimate, it's a scam, is they're going to ask for, they're going to make you think you're their friends, they're going to make you think that they're interested in you, and then suddenly they're going to have some sort of a life event in which they need your help financially. And how do they get that money to, how can you get that money to them fast? Go and get a Visa card from Walmart, one of those that you load, max it out, and then you give them the information on the Visa card. This gives them full access to the money for, like, buying stuff online or whatever. And they drain all the money off the Visa card, and you have solved their problem. And they will thank you and talk to you until something else comes up. And it's amazing how quickly those life events can come up. And after you provided that money the first time, they will continue to hit you up for that money a lot of times after that. And then once you stop, they ghost you. They just go away and they never talk to you again. And it doesn't matter how often you try yelling or screaming at them. And the worst thing is, somebody else does the same thing. Either it's the same person and they come up with a new profile and start talking to you, or a different person starts talking to you. But if you ask me, it's probably the same person. And like I said, I know they took my dad for a lot of money. So you just have to be diligent on this. If you start seeing a lot of Visa cards lying around your parents' house, that's going to be something you want to check on. So, like I said, this is going to end up being more than one video because I have only covered like 4 or 5 of them, and there's like a whole list. I will put the resources for doing more research on this down in the comment section. Also, if you would like, you can just go online, go onto any go onto any of your AI search bots and just type it in, and they will bring you up a list, and also a list of resources. So until next week, good luck, and I hope to see you next week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and have a good day.